Dasa Vrindavanam Vande Krishna Dasa Prabhum Tata Chanavatar Chaitanya Leela Vistar Karino Dro Nityananda Prabja Kadunarena Bhushito Vyaktachano Burachincho Vavande Vyasadupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindas Cha Kanaisaha Jayanti Patakas Ch.Ch. Sarvesham Gurunartina. So we're continuing this morning with Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We have reached chapter 12 and the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. Do you know the Gundicha temple? The Gundicha temple, it is a temple that is maybe something, you've heard of the Jagannath, you know the Jagannath temple, right? Fame. In Puri, yeah. Where Mahaprabhu is. So on that road where the Jagannath temple is, about, I think it's like 3 miles, maybe does it tell us here? Something like 3 or 4 miles down the road from the Jagannath temple, there is another temple called Gundicha. And so every year the Rath Yatra ceremony takes place, right? But before the Rath Yatra takes place, and also the Rath Yatra festival is when Lord Jagannath comes out of his temple and he goes to visit this Gundicha temple. And then he stays in that Gundicha temple for, I think, a few days. So that procession, that famous procession where they're carrying the cart, the chariots, is taking Jagannath from his normal temple to this Gundicha temple, which is a few miles down the road. And usually they'll do that in one day. So the significance is that Jagannath's temple represents Dwarka, because Krishna left Vrindavan as a young man to go to Mathura and ultimately Dwarka. And in Dwarka he became like he's part of the royal clan, Krishna. So he has that, aspect of a village boy, Vrindavan Krishna, but then he was also royalty amongst the Kshatriyas. His family were royalty. So in Dwarka he lived like a prince, which was not so happy for the Brajabasis, for the Vrindavan devotees. They met Krishna after 100 years of separation. They met him at Kurukshetra, and it was very disturbing for them to see their beloved childhood friend Krishna dressed in this robes of royalty, because it inhibited their natural exchange of love and affection. So it disturbed them to see Krishna like that. And so the Rath Yatra ceremony is very significant because it symbolizes Krishna being brought back to Vrindavan from Dwarka. So the Gundicha temple represents Vrindavan. And so the idea is that Krishna is being, because Jagannath is Krishna, the idea is that Krishna is being taken from Dwarka back to Vrindavan. Does that all make sense? Okay. And so traditionally, before the Rath Yatra takes place, before Jagannath is taken to Gundicha temple, which represents Vrindavan, the temple is cleaned very thoroughly. And so we hear this description in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And it may be Mahaprabhu who inaugurated this very grand cleansing of the temple. And it is also, as we'll hear, there's also the symbolism that the cleaning the temple of Gundicha is representative of cleaning our hearts. Because we're inviting the Lord to enter our heart, in the same way that they're inviting Lord Jagannath to enter the Gundicha temple. But before you invite the Lord to stay anywhere, you have to clean it, right? So in the same way, we are inviting the Lord into our hearts, but first we have to clean our hearts very well. We can't invite him to a dirty place, right? So that day, Gundicha, it's also, you'll see it on our calendar, on our Vaishnava calendar. It's a day when generally around the world and all of our temples will do very thorough cleansing of the temple, which is also representative of the cleaning of our own hearts. Okay, so we can begin. So we have reached chapter 12, and it's such a beautiful description, very beautiful description of Mahaprabhu personally cleaning the temple. So, chapter 12 of the Madhya Lila of Ch.Ch. Charitamrita, the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gundicha Mandiram Atma Vrindai Samarjayan Kshala Nata Sagora Swachittavak Chittalam Ujwalam Cha Krishno Pavesho Payikam Chakara. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu washed and cleansed the Gundicha temple with his devotees and associates. In this way he made it as cool and bright as his own heart, and thus he made the temple a befitting place for Lord Shri Krishna to sit. Jaya Jaya Gaur Chandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Gaur Chandra, all glories to Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Jaya Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Gan Shakti Deho Kodijeno Chaitanya Varnan. All glories to the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by Srivas Thakur. I beg their power so that I can properly describe Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Purvedaki noite Prabhu jabe haila, tade milite gajapati utkantita hoila. When Mahaprabhu returned from his South Indian tour, Maharaj Prataparudra, the king of Orissa, became very anxious to meet him. Katagoite patridilo sarvabhaumatai prabharagya hoi jadi dekibade jai. The king sent a letter from his capital, Katak, to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, entreating him to obtain the Lord's permission so that he could go and see him. Bhattacharya likilo prabhu na hoilo punarapi rajatade patri patailo. Replying to the king's letter, the Bhattacharya wrote that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had not given his permission. After this, the king wrote him another letter. Prabhu nikate ache jata bhakta gan murla gita sabade kodihoni vedan. In this letter, the king requested Sarvabhauma, please appeal to all the devotees associated with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and submit this petition to them on my behalf. Se sab doyalu mode hoya sadoi mor lagi prabhu pade koribe vinoi. If all the devotees associated with the Lord are favorably disposed toward me, they can submit my petition at the lotus feet of the Lord. Tasabar prasade mile Shri Prabhur pai Prabhu kripa vinamur rajana hibai. By the mercy of all the devotees, one can attain the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Without his mercy, my kingdom does not appeal to me. Chadi more kripana koribe gora hari Raja chadi jogi hoi hoibo bhikari. If Gora Hari Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not show mercy to me. I shall give up my kingdom, become a mendicant and beg from door to door. Bhattacharya patri deki chintita hoya, bhaktagana pasha gela se patri loya. When the Bhattacharya received this letter, he became very anxious. He then took the letter and went to the devotees of the Lord. Sabade midiya kohilo raja vivaran, piche se patri sabade korailo dadashan. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya met with all the devotees and described the king's wishes. Then he presented the letter to all of them for inspection. Patri deki sabar mone hoilo vishmoy, Prabhu pade gajapatya eta bhakti hoy. Upon reading the letter, everyone was astonished to see that King Prataparudra had so much devotion for the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sobe kohe Prabhu tade kabuna milibe, ami sab kohi jadi duka se manibe. The devotees gave their opinion and said, the Lord will never meet the king, and if we requested him to do so, the Lord would surely feel very unhappy. Sarvabhauma kohe sobe cholo ekabar, milite na kohibo raja vyavahar. Sarvabhauma then said, we shall go once again to the Lord, but we shall not request him to meet the king. Rather, we shall simply describe the good behavior of the king. Etaboli sobe gela Mahaprabhur stane, kohite unmukha sobe na kohe vachane. Having thus reached a decision, they all went to the place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There, although ready to speak, they could not utter even a word. Prabhu kohe ki kohite sabaragaman, dekiye kohite chaha, na koho ki kadam. After they arrived at Mahaprabhu's place, the Lord, seeing them, said, what have you all come here to say? I see that you want to say something, but you do not speak. What is the reason? Nityananda kohe tomai chahi nivedite, na kohile rohite nadi, kohite boy chite. Nityananda Prabhu then said, we want to tell you something. Although we cannot stay without speaking, we are still very much afraid to speak. Jogja tomai sab chahi nivedite, toma nami lile raja chahe yogi hoite. We want to submit before you something that may or may not be befitting. The matter is this: unless he sees you, the king of Orissa will become a mendicant. Kane mudra loi mui hoi bobi kadi, raja boga nahe chitte vina gauda hadi. Nityananda Prabhu continued, the king has decided to become a mendicant and accept the sign of a mendicant by wearing an ivory earring. He does not want to enjoy his kingdom without seeing the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Purport: in India there is still a class of professional mendicants, professional beggars, who are very much like the gypsies of Western countries. They know some magical art and mystical processes, and their business is to beg from door to door, sometimes pleading and sometimes threatening. Such mendicants are sometimes called yogis and sometimes kanafata yogis. The word kanafata refers to one who has put a hole in his ear to wear an earring made of ivory. Maharaj Prataparudra was so depressed by not getting to see Mahaprabhu that he decided to become such a yogi. Ordinary men think that a yogi must have an ivory earring in his ear, but this is not the sign of a real yogi. Maharaj Prataparuja also thought that to become a mendicant yogi, one must wear such an earring. So in other words, he's simply saying, I'll become like a beggar. I'll give up my kingdom and I will wander the streets. If I cannot get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tekibo se mukha chanja nayan bodhiya, todibo se pada padma hridoye tuliya. Nityananda continued, the king also expressed his desire to see the moon-like face of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to his eyes full satisfaction. He would like to raise the lotus feet of the Lord to his heart. Yadyapi Shunya Prabhur Kamal Hoyaman, Tatapi Bahire Kohe Nishtur Vichan. Hearing all these statements, Mahaprabhu's mind was certainly softened, but externally he wished to speak some harsh words. Tomasabaricha amade loya, raja ke mila hoi hao katake tegia. Mahaprabhu said, I can understand that you all desire to take me to Katak, to see the king. Paramartha takuk loke koribe nindan, loke rahu damodar koribe bhadsan. Mahaprabhu said, what to speak of spiritual advancement? All the people will blaspheme me. And what to speak of all the people, Damodar would chastise me. So he's saying, I'm happy to go, I will go. So he's expressing some softness. But he's saying, but however, is it such a good idea? Everybody will criticize me. Damodar, he is known as like he's like the rule keeper. He's the one who follows very strictly all the rulings of the scriptures, of society, and he tells the devotees. Tomasabaragyayami namili rajade damodar kohe jabe milito betade. I shall not meet the king at the request of all the devotees, but I shall do so if Damodar will give his permission. Damodar kohe tumi swatantra ishvar, kartavya sab tomar gochar. Damodar immediately replied, my Lord, you are the fully independent Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since everything is known to you, you know what is permissible and what is not permissible. Amikan kujja jiva tomake vidi dibo, apani milibe tade tahao dekibo. I am merely an insignificant jiva. So what power do I have to give directions to you? By your own personal choice, you will meet with the king. I shall see it. Raja tomade sneha kore tumi sneha vash, tar snehe korabotade tomar parash. The king is very much attached to you, and you are feeling affection and love toward him. Thus I can understand that by virtue of the king's affection for you, you will touch him. Yajapi swatumi parama swatantra, tatapi swabhavehao prema pada tantra. Although you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are completely independent, still you are dependent on the love and affection of your devotees. That is your nature. Nityananda kohe aiche hoi konjan, je tomade kohe koru ajadadashan. Nityananda Prabhu then said, who is there in the three worlds who can ask you to see the king? Kintu anuragi loker swabhaveka hoi, Ishtana paile nija pranase chadai. Still, isn't it the nature of an attached man to give up his life if he does not attain his desired object? So this is the dilemma. We understand that you cannot meet with the king as a sannyasi. No, but on the other hand, there is the risk that the king will give up his life if he's not able to meet with you. So then what are we to do? How can this be solved? Yagyikya brahmani sab tahate pramam Krishna lagi patiyage charile kapran. For instance, some of the wives of the Brahmins who were performing sacrifices gave up their lives in the presence of their husbands for the sake of Krishna. And this is that famous incident when Krishna and Balaram were hungry one day in the forest, and they went to ask these nearby Brahmins who were performing sacrifices. So they were performing a fire yajna. They asked for some of the, because they had lots of food preparations there as an offering, as part of the sacrifice. And so they asked them, oh, can we have, we're so hungry, can we have some of those preparations? And the Brahmins were quite rude and they ignored them, and so then the cowherd boys went to the wives of the Brahmins at Krishna's instruction. And however, so the wives of the Brahmins, they sent many preparations for Krishna, and then some of them went to personally meet with Krishna, and then others, they were kept behind by their husbands who did not allow them to go. And so it's said that those wives who were not able to go, some of them, they left their bodies because they could not. They were so eager to go to meet Krishna, but their bodies were being held back. So they left their bodies in order to meet with Krishna. So Nityananda is pointing out that similarly, the king, if he's not able to meet with you, then he may give up his life. So what can we do to harmonize this situation? Ekajukti Ch.Ch jadi koro avadan tumina milile hotade rohitar pran. Nityananda then submitted a suggestion for the Lord's consideration. There is a way, he suggested, by which you need not meet the king, but which would enable the king to continue living. Ek bahirvaschadi deho kripa kodi tahapaya prandrake tomarashadodi. If out of your mercy you send one of your outer garments to the king would live hoping to see you sometime in the future. So, Salim Mahaprabhu, give some of your cloths, one of your old pieces of cloth, and then that will give the king some hope to continue with his life. Prabhu kohe tumi sa parama vidvan je balo hoy se koro samadan. The Lord said, since you are all very learned personalities, whatever you decide, I shall accept. Tobe Nityananda Gosai Govindera Pash Magya Loilo Prabhu Eka Bahirvas. Nityananda Prabhu then obtained an external garment used by the Lord by requesting it from Govinda. Se Bahirvas Sarvabhoma Pasha Dilo Sarvabhoma Sevascha Rajade Patalo. Thus Nityananda Prabhu delivered the old cloth into the care of Sarvabhoma Bhattacharya, and Sarvabhoma sent it to the king. Vastrapaya Raja Hoilo Ananditaman Prabhurupa Kodi Kode Vastre Pujam. When the king received the old cloth, he began to worship it exactly as he would worship the Lord personally. Ramananda Rai jabe dakin hoite aila, Prabhu sange rohite raja ke nivedila. After returning from his service in South India, Ramananda Rai requested the king to allow him to remain with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tobe Raja Santoshe Tahare Agya Dila, Apani Milan Lagi Sadite Lagila. When Ramananda Rai requested the king to allow him to stay with the Lord, the king immediately gave him permission with great satisfaction. As for the king himself, he began to solicit Ramananda Rai to make a meeting arrangement. Mahaprabhu Mahakripa Kodento Made, More Mili Bhade Avasha Sadibe Tahade. The king told Ramananda Rai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very merciful to you. Therefore, please solicit my meeting with him without fail. Eka sange duijan Ch.Ch jabe aila, Ramananda Rai tobe prabode milila. The king and Ramananda Rai returned together to Jagannath Puri, and Ramananda Rai met with Mahaprabhu. Prabhu pode prema bhakti janailo rajar, prasanga paya iche kohe bar bar. At that time, Ramananda Rai informed Mahaprabhu about the ecstatic love of the king. Indeed, as soon as there was some opportunity, he repeatedly informs the Lord about the king. Rajamanchi Ramananda Vyavahade Nipun, Rajapriti Kohi Javailo Prabhurman. Ramananda Rai was indeed a diplomatic minister for the king. His general behavior was very expert, and simply by describing the king's love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gradually softens the Lord's mind. Utkantate prataparudra nade rahi bade, Ramananda sadilen prabode mili bade. Maharaj Prataparudra, in great anxiety, could not endure not seeing the Lord. Therefore, Sri Ramananda Rai, by his diplomacy, arranged a meeting with the Lord for the king. Ramananda Prabhupai Koilo Nivedan, Ekabar Prataparudra, Dekaho Charan. Ramananda Rai frankly requested Mahaprabhu, please show your lotus feet to the Lord at least once. Prabhu kohe Ramananda koho vichadiya, raja ke milite jujai sannyasi hoya. Mahaprabhu replied, my dear Ramananda, you should make this request after duly considering whether it is befitting for a sannyasi to meet a king. Rajar Milane Rajar Milane Bhikshuke Duiloka Nash Padaloka Rahuloke Kore Upahas. If a mendicant meets a king, this world and the next world are both destroyed for the mendicant. Indeed, what is there to say of the next world? In this world, people will joke if a sannyasi meets a king. Ramananda kohe tumi Ishwar swatantra, kade tomar boy tumi nahapada tantra. Ramananda Rai replied, my Lord, you are the supreme independent personality. You have nothing to fear from anyone because you are not dependent on anyone. Prabhu kohe ami manushya ashrame sannyasi, kai mano bhakye vyavahare bohe vasi. When Ramananda Rai addressed Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahaprabhu objected, saying, I am not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but an ordinary human being. Therefore, I must fear public opinion in 3 ways, with my body, mind, and words.
Shuklavascha masi bindu jaiche nalukai, sanyasir alpa chidra sarvaloke gai.
As soon as the general public finds a little fault in the behavior of a sannyasi, they advertise it like wildfire. A black spot of ink cannot be hidden on a white cloth. It is always very prominent.
Rai kohe koto papir kodiacho avyahati, Ishwar sevak tomar bhakta gajapati.
Ramananda Rai replied, "My dear Lord, you have delivered so many sinful people. This King Prataparudra, the king of Orissa, is actually a servitor of the Lord and your devotee."
Prabhu kohe purna jaiche dugder kolas, soda bindu pate keho nakore parash.
Mahaprabhu then said, "There may be much milk in a big pot, but if it is contaminated by a drop of liquor, it is untouchable."
Yajapi prataparudra sarva gunavan, tahade malin koilo ekara janam.
The king certainly possesses all good qualities, but simply by taking up the name king, he has infected everything.
Tatapi tomar jadi mahagraha hoy, tobe ani milaho tumi tahatanoi.
But if you are still very eager for the king to meet with me, please first bring his son to meet me.
Atmavai jayate putra eshascha vani putre milane jeno milibe apani.
It is indicated in the revealed scriptures that the son represents the father. Therefore, the son's meeting with me would be just as good as the king's meeting with me.
Toberai jai sab rajare kohila prabhuragyai tar putra loya aila.
Ramananda Rai then went to inform the king about his talks with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and following the Lord's orders, brought the king's son to see him.
Sundar Rajar Putra Shamal Vadan, Kishor Vyasa Dirga Kamal Nayan.
The prince, just entering upon his youth, was very beautiful. He was blackish in complexion and had large lotus eyes.
Pitambar Dore Ange Ratna Badan, Shri Krishna Smarane Teho Hoila Udipan.
The prince was dressed in yellow cloth, and there were jeweled ornaments decorating his body. Therefore, anyone who saw him would remember Lord Krishna.
Tade deki Mahaprabhur Krishna Smriti hoilo, Prema veshe tade mili kohite lagilo.
Seeing the boy, Mahaprabhu immediately remembered Krishna. Meeting the boy in ecstatic love, the Lord began to speak.
E Mahabhagavad Jahar Darshane, Vrajenjanandan Smriti Hoy Sarvajane.
Here is a great devotee, Mahaprabhu said. Upon seeing him, everyone can remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, son of Nanda Maharaj.
Kritarta hoila ami hardarshane, eta boli punatare koilo alingane.
Mahaprabhu continued, I have become very much obligated just by seeing this boy. After saying this, the Lord again embraced the prince.
Prabhu sparshe rajaputra hoilo prema vish, sweda kamba ashustamba pulaka vishesh.
As soon as the prince was touched by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, symptoms of ecstatic love immediately manifested in his body. These symptoms included perspiration, trembling, tears, being stunned, and jubilation.
Krishna Krishna kohe nache koro yero dan tar bhagya deki shlaga kore bhaktagam.
The boy began to cry and dance, and he chanted, Krishna, Krishna. Upon seeing his bodily symptoms and his chanting and dancing, all the devotees praised him for his great spiritual fortune.
Tobe Mahaprabhu tade darja korailo nityasi amai mili hoe agya dilo.
At that time, Mahaprabhu calms the youth and ordered him to come there daily to meet him.
Vidai hoyarai ailo raja putre loya. Raja Sukha Pailo Putre Cheshta Dekhiya.
Ramananda Rai and the boy then departed from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Ramananda took him back to the king's palace. The king was very happy when he heard of his son's activities.
Putre Alingan Kodi Prema Vishta Hoila. Sakshat Parasha Jeno Mahaprabhu Paila.
Just by embracing his son, the king was filled with ecstatic love, just as if he had touched Mahaprabhu directly.
Se hoite Bhagyavan Rajar Nandan Prabhu Bhakta Gan Maje Hoila Ekajan.
From then on, the fortunate prince was one of the most intimate devotees of the Lord.
E Mata Mahaprabhu Bhakta Gana Sange Nirantar Krida Kode Sankirtana Range.
Thus Mahaprabhu acted in the society of his pure devotees, performing his pastimes and spreading the Sankirtan movement. Okay, I think it's a good place to stop, and then we will begin the description of the cleaning of the Gandicha temple. So it's so beautiful to see this exchange, to see, the king's determination and his humility. It's such a beautiful example. How much attachment he has for Mahaprabhu. He's this great powerful ruler. He has so much power and property and wealth, but he's saying, if I can't get the mercy of Mahaprabhu, then it is all worthless. It is all utterly worthless. If I cannot get his mercy, better I become a beggar. And always making his approach through the devotees. He has that, understanding very deeply in his heart that the only way to get the mercy of the Lord is through the mercy of his devotees. So again and again, he is approaching the devotees. He knows if he can get their favor, then he will get the Lord's favor. And the Lord, his heart softens, when his devotees come and praise the king. So the king's strategy is working. And it is also, an important example that Mahaprabhu is setting here, for one who has some position of responsibility, then they must, their life does not just belong to themselves. They have to think in terms of the good, the welfare of the public, those who are, in their care. Generally there's someone who the general populace are looking up to, and so they have to maintain a high standard of behavior. So, that is also an important point that is put here, similar to Ramachandra. He as he expresses, the duty of the king is to satisfy his subjects. So my life is not my own. And if I have to make a decision that will be painful for me but good for the public, then so be it. I must uphold my duty as king above all else. So this is also, of course, Mahaprabhu, he would, of course, in the background, this is all Leela, but more in the forefront, we can say that Mahaprabhu, he would be very happy to meet with the king, but he's considering his role as a sannyasi. What is the expectation of society. So he's sacrificing his personal wishes, for the sake of upholding his duty correctly. So there are many, points of consideration here. This expression is very nice, that there may be a pot of milk, very pure milk, but if it is contaminated by one drop of a foreign substance, then the whole thing is spoiled. Gurudev, he expressed that something similar in regards to pratishta. He said that someone may have so many good qualities, they may be full of good qualities, but if they have a drop of pride, then it is all spoiled. It all goes to hell. He said, if you have it may have originally been an expression of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I think he said that. But he said that if you have you're milking your cow, you have a pot of milk, and one drop of urine goes into that milk, cow urine goes into that milk, then you have to throw the whole thing away. So it's a very nice example, because it is true, it is really true. Someone may have all good qualities of they may have great talent, beauty or knowledge, intelligence, so on and so forth. But if they have pride about that, then it all becomes unattractive. It is not so attractive anymore. So we're trying to remember that in our devotional lives. Because as a result of our practice, as a result of our little devotion we have, as a result of our attempts, to serve, then, Guru and Gauranga, they will bless the sincere devotees with further capacity, with, good qualities. However, we must remember it is all the Lord's property, it is all Guru's property. Kanak, Kamini, and Pratishta. Wealth belongs to Narayan. Kamini, sense pleasure, that belongs to Krishna. And Pratishta, fame, position, that belongs to Gurudev. So there's nothing left. Everything's been covered. So we are not the wholesalers, we are the retailers. We are dealing with their goods, with their wealth. So we must do so with care. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai, Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Vaishnava-vrinda ki Jai. Didi, you want to sing?
Hari Haraye Namah Krishnaya Radhavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraye Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra. Radha Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha. Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dansabada pada denu mora panchakrasa. Tadira charana sebi bhakta sanibasa. Janame janame mohe abhilasha. Ch.Ch gosai jabe braj koilo basa. Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Kodila Prakasha. Anande bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhya Mana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kodiyasa. Harinam Sankirtan Kore Narottama Dasa. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Jai, 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 Jai,
Sriyukta Vishakha Devidasi
Jai,
Harinama Sankirtan
Jai. Haribo.